this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your MagicPro Xtreme right after you've taken it out of the box. Now again, very important, do not plug up the USB or your electric into your computer and the wall outlet until you first install the installation CD, and just follow all the prompts when that, and then install and plug it up, you know, when you're asked. But when you first get it, again, before you even set everything up, there's going to be, here is a zip tie that's going to hold everything down right here. I just want you to get a pair of, you know, needle nose or anything, and cut that, even a pair of scissors, and remove that. This has kept the printing head area, you know, kind of getting stationed down. So again, just remove that from that. Now again, just some different components here. Up here on the top is your adjustment for your head. All your material stays at the same level. Okay. Again, the machine will move it back and forth depending on if it's a flat surface or spin it. But your printing head needs to be adjusted manually. Now we always recommend setting your printing head anywhere from a 1/16 to an 1/8 inch above your printing surface that you're going to print on. And again, here, if you spin this clockwise, this will raise up your print head up and down, and then counterclockwise will lower it. So again, be very careful. Never max it out at the top. Now when you have your the flatbed unit in there, you can actually print up onto approximately a 2-inch thick material. So again, just be very careful when you're bringing this up, not to either bottom it out or bring it all the way to the top. But again, also, now when you're installing your printing cartridge, you know, into the machine, there's a lever. I'm going to lower this down here, and I will zoom in this here and show you. We do have, there's a lever. Your on and off switch to your machine is right underneath here. Again, there's also a switch that you'll flip that will move this cartridge to the center. This is when you'll put in your printing cartridge. You only use the colors, the Lexmark number 15. We don't use the black. It will not ask you if it asks you for the black. Just ignore that. But again, when you put your printing color of the 15 in here, it'll go through. Again, on your initial setup, after you get everything set up in your computer and get ready to print something like print a test page, it's going to ask you configure or print configure. What this does is line it up. Now again, you'll hit print. Now what I recommend, putting a piece of blank paper underneath here, because it's going to actually print kind of a diagram. It really doesn't mean anything. It's just what it has to do each time that it sets it up, is what the printer is thinking. So again, put you a piece of like a legal size paper underneath here, and that way it'll print on top of that. Just hold it, and then when it gets through, you'll be ready to print your object. Again, right here, as I said, you got your on and off switch here, your button up underneath here, and now that raises with the printer head. So again, if you have it always raised up, you'll have to reach in and turn off the button. But then also there's also a lever that you'll flip up that will actually move this to the center, and this is when you'll adjust the print head. You know, move it up and down, as you can see here. I'm just turning it, move it up or down the other way. So again, you'll flip the switch and it'll bring it back here. Always do that for your different objects, you know. And then even sometimes you may want to spin, like if you have a baseball, kind of manually turn it to make sure your print head's not going to hit your object. Now right here on this white knob right here, this is the motor release. Now every time you start, I've kind of gotten to a habit, when any time I print anything, this goes through, the printer driver thinks it's pulling a piece of paper through. So what you have to do, if not, that's going to spin. And if you have a certain area that you want it to start on, like the baseball, you don't want your object to spin, or a flat object to pull it through. So what you'll do, and again, I'm going to show you this on a future video, in the startup, this is releasing. You'll just lift it up. Now it's spring held down. And again, right here, there's the the motor pulley here that sits on these two wheels. So again, you'll pull this up to kind of disengage it, and then you'll release it back down when the printing time starts. Again, I'm going to show you on a video on that. Now, one thing here important that we have here on the front of the machine is I have the 8 inches marked on the printing width. So this way you'll be able to line up. It's always going to print in the center. Okay, it's going to center. So if you have a 4x4 object, you know, if you have it set up on letter size, it's going to print. It's going to set that up. You don't have to set it up on an 8.5 by 11 page. Okay, all you have to do is just put in, you print from CorelDRAW or Photoshop, 4x4, line up, you know, your tile, again, the 4-inch mark, and it will print on the center. Okay, and I'll show you actually how to, when you're using, like we have here, this 8.5 by 11 board that we set in here, and it will start at a certain place. Again, it's centered in between the rollers, and I'll show you how to line everything up. It's very simple once you get it. Again, I always recommend putting a white piece of paper on top and maybe print like a light ghost image, so that way of like a tile, well, you'll know where it hits every time. It makes it a lot easier, you know, to speed up production on this. But again, you have your 1 through 8. This actually is your printing width. Your printing length on letter, obviously you can print 8 by 10.5 because it allows the quarter, it thinks it's printed on a page. Printing a 1/4 inch border, it's not, so again it's 8 by 10.5. But then also, if you print legal, you can actually print 8 inches all the way up to 13 inches. Again, that's in your alignment issues, and we'll be covering that. So again, there is a little right here on the printer motor, when we're printing on the flat objects here, is we have this little bushing here that will slide over the printer motor that you'll pull off when you're printing the round objects. You'll take this off. This has has to do with the pulling of keeping the distance, you know, printing 1 inch to 1 inch. Again, it's adjusting the height of the lever to be able to print on either the round objects or the flat. So again, that's something you'll pull on and off. Again, you do have a little knob here that can raise this end of the wheels. All you have to do is pull out this pin, and you can adjust. Sometimes when you're printing on baseball bats, you'll need to raise this where your printing area will be level. But again, I don't use this a whole lot. I have a jig that I use for my mini baseball bats, but again, sometimes with different objects you may want to use that. It comes in very handy. So again, if you have any questions on your setup or anything, don't hesitate to call. Thank you.